Hello. This video is about the decipherment of Egyptian hieroglyphs. On this website, Ancient Scripts, Guilherme Ferreira asked if someone can translate these hieroglyphics here, or hieroglyphs. And Phil Montgomery, let's go up here. Here he is, answered and said, the top words said by Thoth, Lord of the Words. And his translation, spell for the heart of the Osiris, the royal scribe who never justified. Let my heart speak my mind to me, my heart did not die, palpitations did not manifest in ascending to me, that is, my heart did not waver when it was tested. Exactly. Do not oppose me in the scale of the gods. Do not make your enmity known in my presence on your scale, my ka being in my body, which joins it with my limbs which have gone forth to good things. Now my comment on this website, Phil Montgomery is wrong. Not one word of that translation is correct. Now I'm going to start here at the top. Let's go down here to that picture here. Can we go? No, the other way. Here we are. Now what we're referring to, go down just a little bit. These hieroglyphs here above the scale, not below. Now there's 13 columns here. One column is a speech of Thoth. These 12 are not. Now to show you why that is so, I have to go to the larger picture, which this is part of. So let's go down to the larger picture here. Here we are. Now here's the picture that we're referring to. It starts here and it ends here. Now this is the god Thoth. Now the reason these columns are the speech of Thoth, he is standing in this direction and the hieroglyphs face this direction. So these from here to here face this direction. Now he also says that this is the words of Hunefer here. If you remember the translation, let my heart speak, no, my heart did not waver when tested. That is not the words of Thoth. It has to be the words of Hunefer. So these hieroglyphs are neither Thoth or Hunefer. These hieroglyphics from here to here are being explained by Anubis to this Egyptian here who desires enlightenment of this divine science. Now Thoth, Phil Montgomery, excuse me, says he's the Lord of the Words. Well, the hieroglyphs don't say that. Phil Montgomery says that. But Thoth does reveal an important truth here. These hieroglyphs are drawn with a reed brush that he has in his hands. But they're not spoken because Thoth is a human with the head of an ibis, and an ibis does not have a voice box. So let's go down here to now I asked Phil Montgomery to connect his translation to the hieroglyphs. And this was his reply. Now this paragraph here has 6 mistakes. And I'm going to break it down for you. Let's go down here, if we can raise this up. These are the hieroglyphs above the scale that we're referring to. And I'm now going to go to his first mistake, go up a little bit. Here we are. Now, this is his first mistake. He said, the 4th word of the first column is an ibis on a standard which is the name of thought. No, it's not. Let's go back up here if we can to look at this. The first column. Well, here's the ibis standing on the sign here. Now he says that's a standard, but that's not the name of thought. These 3 hieroglyphs here go together in a group. See this sign here? Well, that's the shape of the mind. See my hat? It means comprehend. Can we go up just a little bit higher here? What happened? That's good. No, down a little bit. Okay. Comprehend what? Well, comprehend these 2 principles here. The power to be a carnal or secular man, and the power to be a religious or holy man. Now these 2 different types of individuals contribute something that is different, that is beneficial to the world. Now this sign means 2 powers of your spirit of mind, and you're right to pick one. This sign is the divine law. Okay, let's go to his second mistake. Can we go back up here? The 5th word in column 2 is the name of Osiris, spelt with the I, the throne, and the seated God determinative. Let's go back up here if we can. To the... Well, here's the second column. This is the I, and the God seated determinative, and the throne sign, according to him. This is this sign right here. It is not Osiris. It has to have the ative crown here to be Osiris. It's not a god. It's an ordinary man practicing genetics. You see this phallic symbol here? Now, this next sign here, he says, is a throne sign. Here it is. It's not a throne sign. It means the knowledge of the lower law and the higher law. This is an eye, but it's not part of Osiris's name. It means the power of seeing. This knowledge gives you the power of seeing how to practice this type of genetics. Now let's go to the third mistake here. Can we go up? Go up a little bit higher? Alright, that's good. The 2 words are after it are royal scribes spelt with the sedge sign, meaning royal, and the scribal equipment sign meaning scribe. No, that's not correct either. Let's go to the, here it is. Here are the 2 words here. He says this sign is the scribal equipment sign. Well, this is the palette, the water pot, and the reed brush. But it doesn't mean scribe. And it's not this sign. It's this sign. See here? See the difference? This sign has a palette and a water bottle here, or pot. Now, this sign, which is the correct sign, means the principle of trigenetics, the lower and the higher principle, the power of you. Now, he says this next sign is a sedge sign. Now, why would a plant or a tree mean royal? It doesn't. It means the principle of your power, of your 4 powers of genetics. Okay, let's go to the, that would be his fourth mistake. After that is the name of whomever, spelled with the house plan sign H, the quail chick sign W/U, and the NFR sign. No, that's also incorrect. Now, let's go up here. Well, this is the quail chick here. But it's not part of whomever's name. It means the 2 powers of your love spirit of mind. Now this next sign, where is it? Oh, here it is. Right in front of me. Is this sign? He says that's the health plan sign H. No. Incorrect. This sign means incarnation, or the law of incarnation of these 2 spirits over here into the realm of matter. Now this next sign is this sign. See here? Now he says this is NFR, a triple consonant. How do you get that? What's the basis for that? There's a reason why hieroglyphs mean what they do. This sign means the truth of your egg or life. Now, Phil Montgomery made the same mistake here 3 times. This sign is not the name of thought. These 3 hieroglyphs are not the name of Osiris. These 3 hieroglyphs here is not the name of whomever. Hieroglyphs do not spell names, never. Now, another mistake that he made here, he read these hieroglyphs from the top down, they're read from the bottom up. Now let's go to, that would be his 5th mistake here. 5th mistake. The first word of the 5th column is RW, spelt with the mouth sign, the quail chick, and the mummy sign, which means to dance. No, that doesn't make sense. Let's go up to the 5th column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the mouth sign. And there's what he says is the mummy sign. No, I don't think so. It's this sign. See here? What it means is man's ability to understand the law. You see the L here? Now, what law are we referring to? Well, because man has 4 small toes and a large toe, it means the law of the 4th and the 5th kingdom and the power of sex. Now, why does the beard represent the power of sex? Because it's a sign of sexual maturity, the power to turn up. But Phil Montgomery says it's this sign, the mummy sign. Now this has a different meaning. It means men's ability to understand the Egyptian doctrine of death and rebirth. You see this U here and these bars? powers of you, your knowledge, your spirit of mind, your senses, and the power of sex. Now this is a standing mummy. This is a mummy laying down. You see the difference? But this mummy here has a different meaning. Its design is different. It means man's ability to understand this principle of the four powers of death and rebirth carnal and the four powers of death and rebirth divine. They are different. Four powers of you, your knowledge, the power of mind, your senses, and the power of sex. Now, when we are speaking of carnal death, the physical body dies. This bird here with the human head represents the human soul or spirit lives. And it holds this sign right here. What that means is the principle of the sun's rebirth. What is that? I told you before. It's this sign, your egg. Now, at the feet and the head of the mummy here are two vultures, representing two mother spirits. This is Isis, divine. This is Nephthys, human or carnal. Now, why are mother spirits represented by vultures? That's because vultures chiefly feed off of the flesh of dead animals, representing they turn death back into life. Now, this sign up here, Bill Montgomery said it was the throne sign. Where is it? Here it is. Remember, he said it was part of Osiris's name here? Well, a throne here doesn't sit on your head. You sit on a throne. This sign represents the knowledge of the lower law and the higher law. Now, this sign over the head of Nephthys represents the knowledge of the lower and higher law, the Lord. Now, this platform here represents the knowledge of the principle of death and rebirth carnal and the principle of death and rebirth divine, and these double lines are the different principles. The two legs of Isis, the divine mother spirit, male and female. Now, because the male and female vultures look the same, it also represents the father mother spirit. The same with Nephthys. Her two legs represents the human mother spirit, male and female, or father and mother. Now, this sign held by the two talons of this bird is called the Ba, represents the sun, is also male and female, and carnal and divine. Now, in the papyrus of Hunefer, it contains the mummy doctrine. Not mummification, but that the mummy represents the Egyptian doctrine of death and rebirth. It's 18 feet long. But it's not the central subject of this picture. You see, the central picture is Osiris over here in his shrine. So, where are we? Oh, here we are. Because this sign is more like this than this, I'm going to have to go with this. Now, this next sign is the quail chick. Now, down here, we've seen it before. Here, Phil Montgomery said it was part of the name of Hunefer. And he says it represents W-U, I mean a consonant and a vowel. And here it says it means to dance, something to do with dancing. No. This always means the same. Two powers of your love spirit of mind. Now this top sign is the mouth sign, the outline of the mouth. But it doesn't represent RW. Where does that come from? It means to speaking of. Now, what are we speaking of here? Phil Montgomery says we read these hieroglyphs from the right to the left against the flow of traffic. They face this way. You read them this way. As Nubis is walking this way, he's explaining these hieroglyphics this way. He's not starting here and going backwards. So we go to the next column over here, to the bottom, and start there. What is this sign? It is the beetle. It means sex genetics. Two powers of your mind, two powers of your spirit. Now, beetles have wings, they fly. Two powers of your body. This always means sex genetics. So, the meaning of these hieroglyphs here, the ability of man to understand the law, and the power of sex, two powers of your love spirit of mind, speaking of sex genetics. Let's go to the sixth mistake. Let's go down here. Can we go to the sixth mistake? Here it is. Here. The third word in column 11 is ka, spelt with the upraised arms. Let's go back up there and take a look at that. That's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, here's the sign he's referring to. He calls it the third word. But it's either the fifth or the sixth hieroglyph, which means that he's saying two hieroglyphs or more make a single word. That never happens. Every hieroglyph means one word or many words. But let's take a look at that sign. He says it's the upraised arm sign. Well, he must have been reading the dictionary of E.A. Wallace Budge. He says it's the ka, the double. You have a physical body and you have a spirit double. Now there are hieroglyphs for the spirit double, but this is not one of them. What this sign means is two human rights. You see the right angle here? Now, but the problem with this, why he's even made a big mistake here, this is not the upraised arm sign. See here? These two discs or circles. See the difference? This sign has two hands. It's not this sign, it's this sign. What this sign means is these two rights are the principle of the spirit here and the two sons. Now, in my comment, I asked Phil Montgomery to link his translation to these hieroglyphs, and he did that partially. I counted the number here. There's 138, depending on how you count them. And he only linked 13. That's about 10%. 1 in this column, 8 here, 3 here, and 1 here. He linked nothing in this column, nothing in this column, only 3 in this column, nothing 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 in this column, only 1 in this column, and nothing in these two columns. That's an incomplete linkage. Also, his translation was incomplete. It's equivalent to about one or two of these columns. And he made this mistake. This one column here is the speech of thought. It ends here. But he merged it with these 12 which are not the speech of thought. And he also read these hieroglyphs backwards because he started here and he ended up here. That's like driving the wrong way on the freeway. Now, I'm going to go to some more of his mistakes. Let's go down here and see if we can find those other mistakes. Go down. No, we're in the wrong place here. No. Wait just a minute. No, we're not in the right place here. I'll take this here. Go up a little higher. Okay, that's good. Now, this is a different copy than I had before, but I can make it out here. What I said in my comment, these hieroglyphs are sloppy, difficult to read. You first have to identify the hieroglyphs before you can decipher them. And here's Phil Montgomery's answer. There's nothing sloppy about these writings. It is perfectly clear to read. If they're perfectly clear to read, why did he make so many mistakes? He says these are cursive hieroglyphs. No, they're not. There's no such thing as cursive. Let me explain. This is print form A and B. This is handwritten form or cursive. If you change hieroglyphics to this form, you change the meaning because hieroglyphs are based on shape. Now, hieroglyphs are the language of the priesthood, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. Before I go there, I want to tell you about the two different types of hieroglyphs. The main two types. Those engraved on stone with a chisel and a hammer in the temples where they had a lot of space to work with. And those, but that's not true hieroglyphics in a papyrus. Let's go back up here to show you here. Can you get back up here? Let's go here. These are written with a reed brush. What they do is they smash the end so that it absorbs ink, and they write these in. But the difference here is they have a small space to work with. The papyrus of Hunekra was only 18 inches wide. But these are not as clear as those done with a chisel and a hammer on stone, but they closely resemble hieroglyphs. For example, this is the beetle. This is the quail chick. You can see this right here, the front leg and head of a lion. Now I recognize most of these hieroglyphs as being those in the temples. But there's some here that are new that you don't see in the temples. Now, what I was going to say there, that hieroglyphics is the speech of the priesthood. The language of the common people was demonic. This is what it looks like. It's like, we speak English today. Well, they spoke and read and wrote in this form. It's cursive. These are words or letters that have certain sounds. Hieroglyphics are all pictorial symbols. They require decipherment. Cursive, the language that you speak as indigenous people or native people of the land, you don't decipher. So these here are not cursive unless you mean they are drawn with a reed brush. But that's not the definition of cursive. Cursive means you convert the picture form to handwriting. That has not occurred here. Now let's go back to where we were and let's pick up on some more of his mistakes. When you see that red, here we are. Now, he admits that his decipherment was a transliteration. Now that's another mistake. You can't transliterate hieroglyphs. You can Latin and Greek into English because we know the sounds of the words in Greek and Latin, but not hieroglyphics or hieroglyphs because there was never the spoken language of Egypt. Now he says, we simply use transliterations. Well, who is we? It all started mainly with Jean-Francois Champollion in 1822, or the 1820s. He said that hieroglyphs in a cartouche spelt the name of Cleopatra. Well, it doesn't. He's wrong. And everybody that followed in his footsteps, Samuel Birch, E.A. Wallace Budge, Alan Gardner, and Raymond Faulkner are all wrong. The reason for that is that hieroglyphics represents ideas or principles of a divine science, not sounds or letters of the alphabet. Now we're going to go to the other mistake here. Excuse me. Zena says, are you texting over there? Let's go up here. Let's go back up where we were, just to the top part. No, go down again. Here, that's it. Let's go to this other mistake here, and this is perhaps his biggest. What this scene is depicting is the weighing of the heart. No. Go back up to the picture. Go, just a little bit more. That's good, that's good. Now you see it says here heart. This sign here in the scale. Well, it's not. Now these labels here, Phil Montgomery is not responsible for them. They came with the picture. I don't know who made them. But Phil Montgomery agrees this is a heart. Do you remember his translation? He said, "Let my heart speak to me. My heart did not die. My heart did not waver when tested." Now the heart in Egyptian hieroglyphs is this sign here. Can we go up just a little bit on this? Just a little bit. No, the other way. That's good. See here? It's similar. But this has a round bottom, this has a flat bottom. It's this sign. See? It has a flat bottom. See the difference? They're close. You can make a mistake easily. Let's go up here to the text. That's it. Now you see this sign here? It's this sign. It has the flat bottom. It's not the heart. See over here? Here it is again, again here, and again up here. Now, one more sign. Let's go up just a little bit here. I want to show you one more sign. Go up just a little bit. That's it. Yes, this is the feather of Ma'at, but it does not represent the cosmic truth. Now, I know what these two signs means, but I'm not going to tell you right now, and here's the reason. Let's go down here and look at the reason. Can we go up a little? Go down a little bit more. Go a little bit more. Okay, up a little bit more. That's good, that's fine. Now I found this article on the internet. Researchers use computer program to reconstruct ancient languages. And this is by Craig Lloyd back in 2013. Now this article included this picture here of Egyptian hieroglyphics engraved on sandstone. Now the implication here is that this computer program can decipher these hieroglyphs. It's an ancient language, but it didn't specifically say that. Let's go up here what it said here. Toto? Cesar? Here's what it says. The program uses an algorithm known as the Markov chain Monte Carlo sampler. According to Dan Klein, who is an associate professor at the University of California, Berkeley, the computer program does the work that would normally take hundreds of lifetimes for people to do manually. Well, that's not true. I deciphered Egyptian hieroglyphics in one lifetime. Now let's go to the second article that I found on the internet. Okay, that's good. It says here the new computer program deciphers a long extinct language. And this was posted back in 2010 by Adrian Mamen. It says hieroglyphs on the Rosetta Stone were deciphered by scholars. No, they weren't. That was the wrong decipherment, and I told you who they were. They all made the same mistake. They assigned phonetic and alphabetic value to hieroglyphics. They have none, zero. But a new computer program written at MIT could potentially accomplish the same feat today. Yes, it can accomplish the same feat, the wrong decipherment, not the right. Now, to prove that, I will challenge these two computer programs. Can we go up to this picture here? I would challenge these two computer programs to decipher these hieroglyphs and explain the meaning of this picture. Now, if they attempt to do so independently, they will come up with a different translation, and both will be wrong. Now, I haven't, assuming that I can post this video on YouTube, I will send an email to Dan Klein at the University of California, Berkeley, and researchers at MIT, and challenge their computer program to decipher these hieroglyphs. Now, I don't know what their response is going to be. I'll have to wait and see. Until then, this is lesson 1 in the decipherment, just a minute, of Egyptian hieroglyphs. Lesson 2, the two-computer program. That's it for now. You can go ahead and cut.